The Canadian government just announced some major changes to the Canadian real estate market that's going to massively impact certain types of investors and speculators, and more specifically, those who profit from assignments. And if you don't know what an assignment is, don't worry, because I'm going to cover that in this video and so much more. So if you want to find out what sort of impact this is going to have, stay tuned because it's coming right up. What's going on, guys? Alex Dunbar here from the Dunbar Real Estate Group and Remax Treeland Realty, based out of the Surrey-Langley areas. And in this video, I'm going to tell you all about the new tax they're putting on assignment sales. If this is your first time on my channel, I make weekly real estate videos related to the real estate market here in BC, as well as community tours across the Lower Mainland. So if that's something you're interested in seeing more of, I suggest you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you're notified whenever I put out a new video. And before I get into it, I'll ask that you do one thing for me, and that's to smash that like button so the algorithm will push this video out to more individuals just like yourself who want to learn more about real estate. But diving right into it, on April 7th of 2022, the Canadian government released their budget for 2022. And as part of the government's plan to curb housing speculation, GST is now going to be applicable upon assignment sales of new construction and substantially renovated properties. And if you're not sure what an assignment is, let me define it for you. Essentially, an assignment is when the original purchaser of that pre-sale unit sells their rights and obligations under that contract to a new purchaser. And just to simplify it a little bit, you can think of it as the original purchaser of that pre-sale unit selling it to a new purchaser prior to it being complete. The person who is selling the rights and obligations are known as the assignor, and the person who is purchasing and receiving those rights is known as the assignee. So currently, when an individual assigns their contract for new construction, they may or may not be charged GST and or HST in specific regions. However, in BC, we only have GST. And this depends on their original reason for purchasing the home. For example, if they were intending to live in that home, then GST isn't applicable. However, if their original intention was to rent it out or assign it, then GST is applicable. But obviously, as I'm sure you can see, it'd be pretty easy to get around this. And because of this loophole, it allows speculators to be dishonest when disclosing what they're going to do with the property. And in turn, it creates a lot of uncertainty for all parties involved in the transaction. The current rules also result in uneven applications of GST to the full and final price of new homes. So in order to address these issues, the Canadian government has proposed to charge GST on all assignment sales of new construction and substantially renovated construction. And this is going to be effective May 7th, 2022. At this time, there's no indication of how the developer is going to be impacted. In the following article on the topic, it stated, "Homes should be for people to live in, not commodities to be traded and profit upon by housing speculators. Speculative trading in the Canadian housing market contributes to higher prices for Canadians. Speculative trading can include the resale of housing before it has even been constructed or lived in. This is called an assignment sale." And in all honesty, I'd have to agree. I actually think the government got this one right. And even though it probably should have happened long ago, at least they got it done. But what exactly is the impact going to be? Well, something that you need to keep in mind is that there's already expenses when selling an assignment. Typically, the developer is going to have an assignment fee, which usually ranges between 1% to 3%. On top of that, you're going to have to pay legal fees, so let's estimate that to be around $1,500. You're also going to have to pay taxes on the lift, which is essentially the difference between your purchase price and your sale price. And this is going to be either capital gains or business income, dependent on the situation. However, in this article I found from a Canadian accountant, it stated, "Based on past court cases, we know that the CRA will generally consider the profit from an assignment sale to be business income unless you have a compelling explanation. To make its determination, the CRA will typically consider a couple of factors. Those being, what is your motive or intention behind buying the property? How long did you hold the property before selling? Do you have a history of similar transactions? And what is your reason for selling?" And soon, once this new rule has been implemented, you're also going to have to pay 5% GST on the sale price. And with the prices in the real estate market going so crazy, especially here in the Lower Mainland, over the past 2 years or so, I've seen a ton of speculation in the pre-sale market. And this has led to an extremely high number of assignments. Now, although I don't actually have any data to show you, through my own experiences and talking with several others, I believe that there are a ton of investors who don't actually have the intention of completing on the projects that they invest in, and they actually go into them with the intention of assigning them. Additionally, I believe a large number of these speculators don't actually have the ability to complete on the deals. And with rising interest rates, this is only going to increase the number of individuals who can't complete on those deals. The reason being is that you don't actually have to qualify for the mortgage until the building is complete. You only have to provide the required deposit by the developer. And because of this, it's been a very attractive and lucrative investment investment for several individuals, at least up until this point. And one last thing to note is that the lender is probably going to require an appraisal which isn't done until completion. So why does this pose a problem? Well, if real estate prices were to go down between the time the original purchaser bought and the time that the appraisal occurred, there's going to be a gap between the approved mortgage amount and the purchase price. Let me give you an example to explain. Let's say you originally purchased the pre-sale for $500,000 and that pre-sale project wasn't going to be done for another 2 years. Now, over that 2-year period, real estate prices went down in the area by 10%. So now when the building has actually completed and you're required to go in and get approved for your mortgage, the appraisal is going to come back and state that the unit's now only worth $450,000. And because of this, you're going to be required to cover that $50,000 gap in cash. And if you don't have the cash, well, you're out of luck. You'll have to either try to assign the unit prior to completion, or you're more than likely going to lose your deposit. And even if you are able to assign the unit before completion, you're more than likely going to lose money here as well. So hopefully that example clears things up and you can see why some people are going to be in a lot of trouble. However, at the end of the day, it's really going to depend on what happens in the real estate market. All these people who bought pre-sales are probably going to be fine. But if prices stagnate or even pull back a little bit, there's going to be a lot of people in trouble. And when you take into account all the expenses that I previously mentioned, even if prices are to go up by about 10% over that time period, most of these people would only be breaking even if they were to assign the unit. So again, it really does come down to what happens to prices over the next 1 to 3 years. But with the recent cooling of the market, as well as the increase in interest rates and some of these government interventions that we're seeing come up now, I don't think we're going to see any sort of substantial gains like we have over the past 2 years. But I also don't believe we're going to have any sort of a crash either. So what's actually going to happen? Well, we'll have to see. But I do think this presents a great opportunity for buyers. And if you're in a position to purchase and you're ready to pull the trigger, I think you're going to have some great opportunities. But what do you think? Is this going to have any sort of a major impact, or is the real estate market here just going to keep chugging along? Let me know down in the comments. And that's about going to do it for my video today. So if you did get any value from this, I'll ask that you hit that thumbs up button. And if you're interested in seeing more videos just like this one, I suggest you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you're notified whenever I put out a new video. And if you are interested in trying to take advantage of some of these potential assignment opportunities and you want a realtor who's got his finger on the pulse of the market, I suggest you scroll down and hit the first link to book a call with me to discuss your options. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.